Hello, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's UC Jenny. How are you? How is everybody? I hope you're okay. I hope you had a fantastic day today. Yes, I did. You're welcome to my channel. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, I urge you to please subscribe, like, share, leave your comment, and of course, hit the notification bell. Do that for me, yeah? So, why are we here today? I'm just here to kind of like give you an update because I've already started talking about Senator Natasha Akpoti and our Senate President. The allegation, against the Senate President for sexual abuse and of course preventing her from carrying out her duties as a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So there's been news in the social media and all over our reputable newspapers talking about Senator Natasha going to IPU to lay her complaints there and kind of make the world know what's happening. What I want to correct first, because I told you here in this channel we keep it real, we're here to just kind of enlighten people on issues, things that we tend to neglect, and how people report things without explaining what's going on. Now, I've read a couple of posts and I've seen where people are writing, Natasha went to the United Nations to complain against the National Assembly and all of that. But that's not correct. She went to the Inter-Parliamentary Union, which is a standalone organization from United Nations. I need you to understand that. Now, Inter-Parliamentary Union was set up in 1883, I think. That's when they started, by just a small number of parliamentarians that just came together to rub minds, to see how they can promote democracy and all of that. Now, so it's now grown since then to about 181 members, and Nigeria, of course, is one of them. So to bring it down to everybody's level to understand what this means, say you belong to a profession, MBA, for example, or no, let me use, MBA, Nigerian Bar Association, which is the organization, the association I belong to. If you're a Nigerian lawyer called to the Nigerian Bar, you automatically become a member of the Nigerian Bar Association. Now, we do have an international body, International Bar Association, which caters to all the different bars all over the world. That is what you can liken this to. So it's an organization of all the parliaments, those that want to join. So they currently have about 181 members and 15 associate members. Right. So another thing you need to know is their mission. What is their mission? Their mission is to work for peace, democracy, human rights, gender equality, note that, gender equality and youth empowerment. I need you to understand where we're going to because we're getting there. I just need to break it down so everybody understands what's going on. Yeah? Now, how are they funded? Where do they get their resources from? They are funded by their members. Meaning they are funded by public fund. So if you're a member, you pay your dues, you do all that, you contribute. So it's public fund that funds them. Right? So they've got no money of their own. So it's their members that fund them. Understand that. Now, where is their headquarters? Their headquarters is in Geneva, but they've got two other offices. One in New York and another one in Vienna, Austria. That's where it is. So, Senator Akpoti thought going to IPU was a good place to start, to make her plight, known to the whole world, to explain to the world what's going on. And if you watch that video, you'll be really heartbroken and you would ask, what have we done to deserve this as women? She narrated the story, how she was, removed from how she was suspended from the Senate for 6 months, how she's not going to get her salaries for 6 months, how she's not even allowed to refer to herself as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for that 6 months. Do you understand what I'm saying? So all this is happening. Again, I'm not going to distort facts. I'm going to keep it real for you guys. All this is happening because she stood up to the Senate President. She has alleged that the Senate President has been making passes at her and has been sexually harassing her. That's what she said. And has made it impossible for her to conduct her, duties as the senator representing Kogi Central. She came into chambers to carry out her duties and realized that her seat has been changed. And she said she wasn't informed. And what did she do? She decided to sit on her former seat and address the parliament from her old seat. Now, she raised other 10 of the rules of the chambers of National Assembly. Other 10, I've described in my old video, is like an emergency order that my right has been infringed upon. I need the ethics committee to look into it. But the Senate is saying it is wrong for her to have done that she was being unruly by not going to her new allocated seat to be able to make that move or move that motion. So the Senate suspended her based on her conduct. They've not looked into the petition that she has filed against the Senate President. Let's not go into the nitty-gritty of, whether it was right for the Senate President to have presided over her own case and have, suspended her because the petition was against her. Now, the Senate did not even consider the merits or even look into that petition. They've just said she's in breach of the parliamentary rules. She ought not to be there. She needs to be suspended to be able to understand what the rules are and all of that, right? So she's gone to IPU to explain that to them. And IPU, the presiding officer there, said she was going to step it down and hear from the other side. It's only fair, because that is fair hearing is one of the major pillars of justice, natural justice. You must hear the other side. You can't just deliver a ruling based on what one party has said. So, does the IPU have any powers to investigate this issue? No, they don't. Because like I told you, their objective is to promote peace, to promote gender equality, to fight against discrimination and gender-based violence. That's all they do. So it's like an administrative body. They have no rights or powers against any sovereign nation. And Nigeria is a sovereign nation. So it's fair to say that Senator Natasha is just trying to publicize what is happening to Nigerians, Nigerian women in particular, the kind of challenges we face in our places of work, in our universities, in our homes. So this is her now bringing international light to beam it on the National Assembly for us to understand what's going on. Now, the interesting thing, what I need you to remember, or to see how not peculiar this case is to Nigeria, there was a study that was done by IPU in 2021, and it was an interesting. I will link it to the description so you can go and read it, so you can understand how serious sexual harassment is and how women all over the world are suffering. In fact, how women in particular in Africa are suffering from this. Now, a study was done in 2021. 224 women from 50 African countries were studied. They were interviewed to give their perspective as to what's happening. Tell the world, have you been experiencing any kind of gender-based violence? Are you finding it easy to do your work as a woman, as a parliamentarian? Tell me your thoughts, and you'll be shocked as to what was found. I'm going to read it out for you. You'll be shocked as per what is going on in these countries. Now, at the moment, for that 2021 study, right, that I told you 224 women were interviewed, would you believe that 80% of these women who participated in this study have experienced psychological violence over the course of their mandates. 67% of them are subject to sexist behavior and remarks. What is Senator Natasha complaining about? Senate President making inappropriate remarks, asking her to come and spend some time in his Ikotebena house, or throwing sexual innuendos at her. You know what to do. I can make your life better in the Senate. Let's not forget, the Senate President, this is the second time, at least publicly, that we know that somebody is accusing him of this sort of thing. This is the second time. I have a video on that. Go watch it. Now, we're also talking about now, the perpetrators of this violence were 78% of them were their fellow parliamentarian colleagues. 78% of the people perpetrating this violence against women actually are parliamentarians, male folks. I need you to understand how serious these allegations are, and how serious it is all over the world, all over Africa. Women's rights are consistently being trampled upon. Women are consistently being abused, and we are being told to chin up. We are being told not to say anything. Listen again. 44% of the online sexist attacks can be attributed to the members of the public. Now, if you've been reading comments and watching interviews from people online, you would see them calling Natasha all manner of names. Oh, are you the only woman there? Why must it be you? Why is she? Because she's beautiful? Because she's not dressing appropriately? You know, stuff like that. They're trolling her because she has come out to speak her truth. Albeit she didn't follow the rules of the National Assembly, but she has spoken her truth anyway. But everybody is castigating her and calling her names and saying, oh, she shouldn't have. I will get to the other point. I'm not taking sides. I just need us to understand the broader picture of what's going on here and how serious these allegations are, and how serious that if we don't start to think of how to make a change and how to, start to correct these issues, then our children would be in trouble. We will not be able to say women, can get to that position without having to compromise their standards just because they need to be given a seat at the table. And I need us to continue to, think about how serious this is. Now, 52% of threats are made by citizens, military groups, terrorist groups, and above all, anonymous people. Now, all this are the feedback that they got from this study of these women. Do you understand how serious this is? It's all over Africa. Women are continuously being abused. And each time we try to speak up, we are told to shut up. We are told to deal with it. Even a former senator, Itagiwa, came out to say, once you're a senator, you are above being harassed. You should carry yourself in such a way that nobody can harass you. Is that really what we need to teach our women? We need to teach our women their rights. We need to teach our women how to stand up for themselves. We need to let them know what sexual harassment is. So it's important that we do all of this. So the essence of this video is to create this awareness of what's going on, not just in Nigeria, all over the parliaments in Africa. It's also important for us to remember that Natasha has started this journey. She has started this process of exposing the rot in the Senate, exposing the fact that the Senate President is unable to step aside and let justice or let a proper investigation be done into these allegations. I need us to also understand that the Senate does not even have the power to strip her of her status as the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. She was not appointed, she was elected. So by telling her that she's suspended for 6 months means she's incapable of representing her people. The people that have voted her into that office to represent their interests at national level. She's unable to do that for 6 months. Think about it. So meaning these people have kind of been disenfranchised. Oh my gosh. I can't even speak. That's how upset I am. You know, they've been disenfranchised. They really can't. They've appointed, they've elected somebody, and somebody somewhere or a group of persons somewhere have said, this person cannot represent your interests. There have been several decisions by the court in Nigeria saying the National Assembly doesn't have the power to strip somebody of her state, his or her status in Nigeria. But nobody is talking about it. Everybody is saying, oh, she hasn't complied with the rules. Yeah, she hasn't. That's okay. I understand that. We learn. Things happen and we learn. But she has started this journey. So why can't the Senate President and his cohorts relax and think about how to remedy the situation and how to remove the shame that has been brought against Nigeria? And they would continue to make us a subject of ridicule in the international space. So it's good for everybody to stand up and begin to think about the impact of this on the Nigerian, on the women's rights, on everything that is going on. So I know it might seem like she's grasping at straws, IPU cannot help her and all that, but she's creating awareness. The world is watching. Everybody's watching. They can see what is going on. And then tell me how Nigeria can be taken seriously in international space. Again, one important thing I also need to mention is that Senator Natasha, this is now my opinion. Now, feel free to put your comments down. Tell me what you think. You might not agree with me, but I also don't think she went around this issue the correct way. She should have complied with the rules of the Senate, because that is what everybody, even the Senate President, is using against her, that she has not complied with the rules. So going forward, we women, I've made a video before about this. We women should learn how to follow the due process, because it's not easy with us. When it comes to women, we struggle. We have to walk extra mile. We have to put extra effort to achieve what a man would achieve with a snap of a finger. So because of that burden that's been put on us, that we have to carry and struggle to achieve things, we need to also try to comply with the rules that have been set out. Anywhere we get into, any organization we get into, any position of power we get into, we should try to comply with the rules while also championing our rights as women. So that when we're able to, make a publication or make an announcement about some injustice that is happening, nobody's going to come back to say the rules have not been complied upon. Nobody's going to throw away our grievance on a ground of technicality. So let us try and abide by the rules going forward. And let us also hope and pray that the Senate will have a rethink and recall Senator Natasha into the Senate and allow her to carry out her mandate that have been placed on her by her people. So I think that's it for tonight. So think about it and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if what's going on in Nigeria is, something that you need to lend your voice to, and let the world continue to hear the cry of Senator Natasha. Even though the world might not help us, obviously, because Nigeria is a sovereign state. This is not a case of war. There is no emergency going on. It's just one individual. That is the way they're going to look at it. But her voice is being heard all over the world. So that's it this evening. I urge you to please subscribe to my channel. I will continue to bring you more educative news and enlighten you on issues that are happening in Nigeria all over the world. Thank you so much for your subscription, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.